In my last video, we toured Blue World Aquariums in Victoria, BC, where I checked out their amazing selection of marine fish and coral. I spent half of my time mesmerized at the beautiful display tank that is absolutely stunning. I was able to pick up 2 new coral, and in this video we're going to do an unpacking of these coral and get them into the tank. I used a plastic container that is an appropriate size for both coral. I used the same container for both coral, as they both came from the same aquarium, and the water after transport is looking clear and the coral is looking healthy. Although Blue World Aquarium's selection of coral as well as Frag Garage Corals are very healthy, I still inspect them for pests and other parasites that may be on their bases or on the coral tissue themselves. I am most concerned about Acropora red and black bugs as well as Acropora eating flatworms. Most often I will remove the coral from the base that it is growing on. This will reduce the risk of introducing pests or parasites from the frag mount itself. I have already acclimatized the coral to my tank water. Coral is self-acclimatizing. This means that they are able to acclimate to the tank water much more rapidly than marine fish and invertebrates, as long as the water parameters are not too vastly different. Now that I have inspected the coral and they have been acclimated, I am going to do a coral dip on the coral. I use Coral RX. This is an irritant that will cause any parasites or pests to drop off the coral. I use a 60 cc syringe to irrigate the coral. This will cause any of the pests or parasites to drop off. It is a pressure of approximately 30 psi, which won't damage the coral's tissue. There are many coral dips available. Check with your local reef shop to see which coral dip is appropriate for the coral that you are keeping. It is important to observe the container for any pests or parasites they may drop off in order to quarantine the coral or to watch for future infestations. I use a toothbrush to clean the base of the coral, even though I will be removing the coral from the base to mount in the tank. Finally, I rinse the coral in some tank water. This removes any of the excess coral dip that may still be on the coral. For larger collections, I always recommend a quarantine tank. However, this is not always feasible. Finally, the coral is ready to be placed in the tank. I am excited to see the coral's coloration under my lighting system. The first Acropora that I will place in the tank is one of the Frag Garage Acroporas. This Acropora is absolutely stunning. However, to be honest, I forgot which one that I bought. I believe it may be one of the Frag Garage signatures, the Gila Monster Acropora. This is an absolutely stunning coral and will have an amazing contrast to the other coral in my tank. The second Acropora from Blue World Aquariums is a marine cultured specimen. This specimen has a beautiful green gold undertone to the coral lights. I'm excited to see it color up. Marine cultured coral are often not as bright as aquacultured coral. This is because they must acclimatize to aquarium lighting conditions. I have temporarily placed the coral on a frag rack so I can decide where I want to place the coral in the tank. They are looking absolutely phenomenal. I chose these coral to place on the left side of my tank in some of the locations that I have been saving for some Acropora coral. These new Acropora coral have a beautiful contrast in color against the other coral in the tank. The Acropora immediately produce a very healthy slime coating. As I transferred these Acropora to the tank, I could smell the distinct, healthy Acropora smell that I enjoy very much. These Acropora have a beautiful contrast in the tank, and I'm excited to see them grow. I hope you've enjoyed this video as I unpack my coral from Blue World Aquariums and Frag Garage. If you enjoy reef and aquarium related videos like this, check out my channel and some of the other videos I have, such as my tour of Blue World Aquariums. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.